Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. And also, just a quick warning, if you occasionally see weird little ears here, that is because my chihuahua is lying in my arms, looking forlornly at the floor and may occasionally look up. It's all it is. Don't worry, it's not a Kowakian monkey lizard, though I would not turn one down if one were offered to me. They seem like they'd be problematic. They seem like poof throwers, I would guess. But we are playing Star Wars Saturdays, which is an anthology campaign that I've been running for the Gauntlet for a few years now, where every month I choose a different RPG system, offer it up to members of the Gauntlet community, and we get together and play. This month, in May of 2022, we are playing Apocalypse World Burned Over, which is Apocalypse World is a 10-year-old game, and Burned Over is a less than 10-year-old game that was recently updated. You can find it on the itch store from Vincent McGay Baker, and it is a pretty significant revision of the original Apocalypse World. Quite a lot of it I like. There's still a few things that we've had to paper over, but all together, we're having a pretty good time. We're running it in Star Wars, set on the planet of Dathomir, which, if you look at Stephen or Alan's backgrounds, you see a ruddy red planet. And this is where Rancors originate, supposedly, where the Zabrak species used to hold sway. The Night Sisters originated from Dathomir. It is a very mysterious and interesting planet. It was also featured in one of the most recent Star Wars video games, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, the other thing about our place where we're playing is that this is about 1.5 to 2 years after Palpatine, the Emperor, died, fell down a hole in Death Star 2, which blew up. Obviously, he's gone, never coming back. Totally Star Wars, when folks fall down holes, they're gone forever. They don't every single one of them come back, I promise. And I'm also using a little bit of expanded universe canon because I want stormtroopers. So Dathomir is still under the control of the Empire, ostensibly, though the grip seems to be loosening as the New Republic rises and tries to free the galaxy from the tyranny of Imperial control. We are using a hard zone, a custom, well, it's not that custom, using hard zone, which is just a set of locations within a type of apocalyptic frame. And we are using the Fallen City, which I think is really fun and an interesting way to explore Dathomir. Our crew of PCs just recently had found several kids that had been captured as slaves who were free. They had evidently freed themselves, run away. And the crew decided to go to find a ship called the Strident, which they have found is controlled by Zygarians. Zygarians are these cat folks who I think first appeared in Clone Wars animated. Check me on that, Cody. Yeah. So they suck. I'll just like Rich. Maybe the MC is a little more fair, but Rich, they're all slavers. They do look cool though, especially if you're into cat people. And they have electric whips, which is scary and intimidating. Heavy into slavery, not at all nice folks. And the Zygarians were at a place known as the Inroad, once a marvel, a cantilever Duracrete bridge 100 meters long, soaring 50 meters above what was once a running river, now a filthy, impassable muck. The bridge is the only way. It's barely passable itself, but still, that is not right. Is that right? Is that where we're at? Yeah, we were on the Inroad. Okay, cool. Yeah, so 50 meters high. Yes, that's important because we need to, Stephen had to leave a little bit early. 50 meters. Some part of that, Google thought I was talking to, but it's not true. So 50 meters up. The lot of you traveled towards the inroad. Yuka had a little run-in, wasn't too much trouble, right? Not that big of a deal as Deadeye Azum tried to collect on the bounty that the Hutt cartel set on Yuka the Volatile. And after that, you made your ways to the inroad, looked up, and Bayo, brave Bayo, sweet Bayo, volunteered to scout it out as everyone waited to hear back from him, trusting in his point break like confidence and skill as he climbed up a 50-meter tall ladder. When he got to the top, after a few failed rolls, he had a fight with a Zygerian who shot at him but missed. He dodged out of the way, but unfortunately, the second shot took out the ladder and he fell 50 meters down. And his life, at the end of our session, we determined had become untenable. So we do have safety tools. Just as a reminder, I'm not going to go over them, but I do like to point out that is an important thing to have in your games so that we're all on even playing field and we know we're here to have a good time. Good times are variable based on people. So I let everybody choose lines or veils. Lines are things that they have no interest in the story whatsoever. It's a big turnoff. Veils are things where we agree that it's okay if it happens in the world. We just don't want to shine a spotlight on it. We don't want to get into the grisly or the nitty gritty. We just say that's a thing that happened. We fade out or do a star wipe or fade to black, whatever seems appropriate at the time. We also have ask first, which means it's situational, meaning this content is something that might be okay, but please approach as to the players before we just throw it into the fiction and say this is a thing that happened. Like I always have ask first for midichlorians because some people can deal with midichlorians being this weird science fantasy thing, and some people it's a big turnoff. M count is also within midichlorians, so that's a thing. And then we have X card on top of that, meaning didn't realize that we need to set a line veil, or maybe last week it was okay, but situationally right now it is a real bothersome. It's really bothersome to your fun. And so you can X card. You can say, hey, I need to X card this. You can type it into chat and hopefully I'll catch it. You can make an X symbol if you want, and we will excise that from our play. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to tell the reason why. I may ask a question just primarily to understand, like, do you mean this? All you got to say is, yep, that's it. Or no, Rich, you're an idiot. Contextually, it's obviously this. And then that will be excised. No fuss, no muss. No big deal. And so with all of that out of the way, we have all of our characters, but we're 3 sessions in. Do you guys feel motivated to like jump straight in? Because I got a thing. All right, let's just jump straight in. Bayo. Well, what did Bayo do when he fell those 50 meters? Did he scream? Did he keep quiet?
I think Bayo was quiet for most of the fall, being in shock that something so bad was happening to him. It was almost, this can't happen. And as his brain caught up with his body, there was a short, sharp scream before he impacted. Yes.
Nice. The impact hurt much less than you might have anticipated. You did feel 2, like maybe you bounced. And then there's this sense of awareness that's fading as your body sinks into the muck of what many, many years ago was a river. And you lose sensation of your body. You feel like you're floating for a moment. The red of the sky above grows brighter and hotter and warmer, and then you find yourself seated in this much darker cavern. You can hear the sound of water in the distance. And there's an echo to it, a flat echo, like you're in a cavern that's quite large. And then a green light fires up. It's the kind of thing that causes that like, iris thing around the light itself. And you see the face of a Zabrak, a night brother. He's holding this green torch. He stares at you, and his horns, they're sharp. His body is lean. He's carrying an energy bow in his left hand. It looks well cared for. Important.
What is your name?
I'm BO.
That is not the name of a knight, brother. What is your name?
My name is BO. I am BO.
What does BO mean?
Well, like sometimes your parents pick names for you and you don't really know why, like where it came from, or like it doesn't. Well, it means me. I'm BO, I guess. Is that what this is?
Is dead.
No, because I'm here. I'm alive.
I think this is where the living are.
I think BO goes quiet.
Good. Now you understand. BO is dead. But you are a knight, brother. There is a knight sister who lives, who needs one to watch and to guide. Are you the one to return to her? You must choose this.
You're talking about sin. You're talking about, yeah, I know sin. Yeah. She was teaching me.
You have seen her strength and her potential. You have recognized her weaknesses as well. She is incomplete. A night sister needs her brother. Will you pass on? Or will you heed that call? One who was BO.
BO nods. Yeah. I'll answer the call.
You will return changed. What was BO is dead. What returns is for you to decide.
So we cut back to Yuka, Crix, and Sin. The three of you were waiting for BO to return. So Crix, I'm curious, Yuka being a traveler, Sin being recently arrived to the area, where is it that you picked out underneath the auspices of the inroad for the three of you to wait for BO to return?
Somewhere with the best cover, I'd have thought. I mean, after the fracas, after the attack by Deadeye, Yuka, is not in great condition, must be said. And Crix took a bit of a banging then as well. So I think I see them huddled. There's kind of bits of the inroad have collapsed. My sense is that it's there are some chunks of highway and concrete and support. So I think we're probably hunkered down where two bits of highway have come down together, and there's a fairly secure space underneath.
Nice. I like that. Yuko, there's something already here in this hiding space. Is it a small animal? Is it a small animal with her young? Is it the corpse of something or someone left behind long ago?
I like the idea that there is some kind of like animal family of some type near a plant that is growing in this hidey hole.
Nice. I like that. I'm imagining like maybe some kind of space raccoon, right? I'm sure that one exists. There's a space everything in Star Wars. So we're now declaring that there are space raccoons, which will give a cool name to.
Just give them rings. They'll be fine.
Just rings. There we go. Sin, how does this mama space raccoon near this plant and her little babies that she's caring for, how do they react to you specifically?
I think that they recognize something native and they kind of are curious and kind of come out and sniff. But when they get too close, I think they hiss and kind of back to the plant that they're near.
And Sin, you notice that, and you also notice that isn't a nest as much as just like a little area that the mother has maybe scratched up the hard caked clay to make it a little softer, to make a bit of a hole for the young to come around and feed from her. And when you notice them, maybe you guys have a glow rod of some kind, you see that there's one small member of the little family that's away from the others. Maybe the mother cast it out, or it just hasn't made its way back to the rest of the kids. You notice that. What do you do?
I think I turn my back on the others. They're wounded, and I kind of hide what I'm doing from them. But I think I scoop up, some of the soil, and I think that's part of what made them hiss at me was I've invaded their space, and I think I take out like a vial and I pour a little bit of water off to the side in an indention, and maybe a little bit of rations, and set that down next to the plant, and then scoop up the little one and put it next to the plant, and watch them and sit down. I think I'm just going to hunch down and just watch to see what they're doing. I think this is a little bit meditative because I'm watching the natural flora and fauna of the world, of my world.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But
Cool.
I think I do my best. I don't know how successful I am, but I do my best to hide this from the others because they're not from here.
Yuka's in a bad way, Crix. How are you trying to make her more comfortable before you hear the scream?
There is no, is there a general move that could treat her condition? I'm never quite certain whether that might be try something challenging.
Not
Not really, is there?
really. Yeah, there's a whole playbook dedicated to healing folks.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you got to go see somebody who knows what they're doing.
And I'm guessing that sway someone to make her feel better isn't going to work either. So
They can feel better, but they
will...
don't get to improve their clock.
No. And I'm also guessing that read someone. It's not a charged situation really, because I was thinking, how could I get you to feel less injured? But I think that's pushing my luck as well.
Yeah.
So I fall back on open my brain to how I can help Yuka.
Interesting. I think that's fascinating. Cool. Let's have you do it.
Yeah. This is 2d6 minus 1 then. 8 minus 1 is still a 7.
It is indeed still a 7. So on open your brain, you've already thought of your question. The MC, that's me, may ask you questions. You have to answer them. Here's my question. Is it more important to you, Crix, that Yuka be healed for the fight that is to come? Or for Yuka to be healed of her pain?
Oh, healed of her pain, no question.
Well, you concentrate for a few moments and realize that the Zygarians above you, that they have a number of drugs, unguents, ointments, and treatments. Perhaps they have some Bacta as well. They definitely have the kind of medicines that would take the edge off, and Yuka would feel much better. Oh, you were on mute there, Alan.
Yes, I am. Then as soon as BO gets back, we need to head to that Zydarian, and now it is both to in some way mess with their business, but it's also to get to their stash of drugs for Yuka.
Yeah. After that realization, the three of you hear a manly scream. Not. I mean, I'm tempted to do the Wilhelm scream, but you're a PC. Oh, yes.
Could I have been watching BO with my sniper rifle as a...
Oh, you get to be a witness to the fall.
I'm fine being a witness. Just as long as I get to see.
You do.
Yeah.
You certainly do.
Yes, I think maybe before the scream, she will just let out a low sigh, seeing the second shot take out the ladder. You may be down an acolyte soon.
And I think Sin was preoccupied with the animals here in the cave and didn't notice the activity that was going on until she hears the scream and kind of rushes back sort of to the entrance of the cave where Yuka is with and he's kind of looking through the scope, and so what's the situation here? He was shot by someone, the ladder was shot by someone up above. I think I'm gonna go out and pull him back. I'm gonna see, there's a body that hits.
Yes.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try and pull him back either next to the cliff or back to our cave where we are.
Okay. So it's heading out to try to pull BO back. Yuka, as
It's too
you,
late for that, Sin.
Ah,
Now we have to make sure he didn't die for nothing. We need not to draw any more attention from the Zidarians. Sway someone.
nice. Let's see you do it. Go ahead and roll plus
Roll
cool.
plus cool. 2d6 plus 2. That is a 9.
Nice. On a 7 to 9, if you don't want to go along with Crix's urging to leave BO be, or if you refuse that, then you can choose to ask for evidence, time, a compromise, some concrete assurance. And if they provide that concrete assurance, evidence, or time, then you got to go along with things.
so if I go along, what happens?
If you go along with Crix, that's fine. That's your choice.
Okay.
You totally can. But if you're like, no, I really want to go out there, then with a 7 to 9, you need to ask Crix for some kind of compromise, evidence that they are right, or time. And if Crix agrees to that, then the two of you have gotten a compromise worked out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think I kind of pull away from Crix and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. He needs to be put at rest. And this is our way. Our way is different. Is this... What do you propose we do instead?
I gesture to Yuka. Yuka's in a bad way. I'm not much better. There's a whole bunch of them up there. We have to use what passes for stealth to get there. You can't mess with that body until after we finished. After we finished, we will offer BO all the rights and all the rest that you think is appropriate. But right now, that's just going to make it more difficult to do what we came here to do and for what he gave his life.
And afterward, you will be a part?
I will help you do whatever needs doing.
And she kind of grins and says, so be it. Yes.
Nice.
I'll be honest with you, part of that is about leaving Cody with all the space to declare his life becomes untenable options. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, that's cool. I love it. Thank you for being so considerate. Cody, which of the options when life becomes untenable have you chosen to return?
I think originally I was leaning to returning to play with -1 hard. Just this kind of realization for BO that he is not this hard Night Brother that he was. But then he experienced something truly weird. So I think my weird is going up by 1.
I didn't want to make you do anything, but I did. I really wanted you to talk to an actual Night Brother. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was great. It was great.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's the choice I'm going with.
Yuka, Sin was going to go out there, so I imagine you check things with your scope.
Yeah, I'm fine doing that.
Did Bayo disappear? Does Bayo just sit back up? What do you think?
I think
Like it could totally be his closer there kind of thing. But then that's very one with the Force. But I'm also cool with it. It could be whatever you want. How does Bayo return? And does Bayo take his name again, or?
one question at a time, Rich. One question at a time.
Sorry, I'm all excited.
I think Bayo jolts back awake, like just as if he's waking up from a nightmare, and so he screams again, and then he screams and looks around and gets his breath, feels his body, feels that everything is where it's supposed to be, even if there are some breaks and strains and sprains and things aren't so good. Pats the ground, trying to understand how he survived this fall. And I think then he stands up and kind of walks back to where he left everyone else, kind of in a daze.
Yuka will look back to Sin as she's taking this in. You're back up to 1 acolyte.
And
And
I think, oh, go.
I think Sin actually turns and says, "I know," and kind of puts a hand on Crix.
Because Crick's definitely. What?
He woke up.
Woke up.
Sat up. I assume that means he's cognizant as well.
He just fell 50 feet, Yuka. We both know what happens when somebody falls 50 feet.
Apparently not.
You don't know what happened whenever a Night Brother falls 50 feet. Here, in this place.
I don't. This is not right in some way.
Ah, wise you are to know what's right and wrong.
I'd believe him before others.
Did you do something, Sin?
I will do something.
What?
We will see he who returns.
I think Bayo, or who once was Bayo, perhaps, stumbles up and he just kind of says, "Hey guys, I went and scouted it out. I couldn't really figure out. I didn't get a good look. There was guards up there, so I didn't look. I wasn't able to succeed in scouting. I'm sorry, Crix. I know I told you I'd do that. What? I need a nap, honestly. What do you want to do?"
Yuka puts down her sniper rifle, pulls out her illegal heavy bolter, and aims it at Bayo. What are you?
I'm I'm a Zabrak.
He's okay. Puts down the heavy bolter, lets you in the cave.
And Sin steps forward and says, "My brother, did you have a vision?"
Bayo's eyes go wide and he kind of looks at everybody else. Yeah, Sin, yes, there's someone spoke to me.
Don't speak of it. That is for you. It is not for those of us who weren't there. But speak of what you need, and I'm going to perform. I'm just going to be goofy and perform like a little ritual with, like, I pull out some oils and I kind of like draw symbols across. Do you actually have tattoos on your face? You don't, do you?
I think I do. I have tattooed sigils of protection. They're not like the full blown Night Brother, like full skin tattoos and stuff like that. I think he just has kind of more simple line work.
But I think I'm gonna basically. I looked up some Dathomirian funeral rite kind of stuff, and it's like
Perfect.
you wrap the body in like mummified strips of cloth, but I pull out oil and I basically trace some stuff along you, and say some words. It's super creepy for the rest of the for the normals. That also means that I I think we take off your shirt, like you're now bare chested.
Mhm.
And draw those symbols on there, but that means that there's a discarded shirt here that we could leave behind where the body was, right? Just as a little bit of misdirection if a guard comes to look or something like that. And that's all I wanted out of that scene, unless there's some healing that needs to be done. I don't know if I can do that. Or both Yuka and Crix need some kind of healing. And I think the only weird thing I could do was probably augury, which I don't think would do any healing. So
Augury lets you reach into the maelstrom. Yeah, I don't think that necessarily does that thing. Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing it would be to reach through the maelstrom and pull out a medical kit or something like that.
Oh, you could do that. Was that what you'd like to do? Reach into the maelstrom and pull out a medical kit?
I don't think so. I think it would be more fun to see if we could steal a medical kit from the Zygarians upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
No arguments here. Wow. You don't have much of an idea about what's up there.
Ah,
Yeah.
while this freaky stuff is going on, Crix is in the back of of the cave, inverted commas, and he's having that internal conversation with his forebears. Or whoever that is. That may be Crix in a life before he became a gardener. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to use the move, which is Inheritor. When you were yourself a child, one of your forebears taught you patience, blah, blah, blah. When you take time to reflect, it is as though you can sit with generations of your forebears in council, though of course they're gone, treat them as advisors and gain access to insight. So I want to ask a question based on local knowledge and what I've seen from our position. Ask them what they think the best course is to get us up there unseen, MC.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That is really cool. Treat them as into reflection as insight. And I think insight is actually a move.
Yeah.
The standard move for advisors. When you go to your advisors for insight, tell me what you think. MC will tell you, pursue that course. Okay. There's no role to it. You just do the thing. Okay. And Crix's forebears are actual ancestors? Are they folks that are attached to members of his family as well? What do you think?
I think it's almost Crix's former life, if I'm honest. I think, clearly Crix has a background with Yuka that doesn't involve much gardening.
Nice.
So in my mind's eye, I think he's because that would fit with the last time he used this, which was kind of a tactical insight of how to approach the dog folk whose name has now escaped me.
Clatuinians.
Them Clatuinians. So I think he thinks of it as talking to his unit back in the day.
Okay.
I think that's more Star Wars than ghostly presence in the maelstrom. And so he's looking at where the Zydarians are. He knows he's local, relatively speaking. So he knows some stuff about the location, and he's applying those tactical insights. What's the best way to get up there without being spotted? That doesn't preferably involve a 50-foot ladder.
Right. Well, first and foremost, if you had an Imperial vehicle or appearance, they would kowtow to that. There's no way the Zygarians are going to try to go head up on the Empire, especially when they feel like they've got a good working relationship with them. Also, water is important here on Dathomir. It is not the kind of place like Tatooine, but if you were some kind of merchant delivering needed supplies, water always being a thing that is needed, then you could successfully walk right in. And you know,
Well-
the chiaroscuro, there are a number of people who like you. Maybe that would be an option.
Well, this is interesting because I'm thinking now of Grim. Grim will go among Crix's enemies and return as the person who can get in and out again with maybe we could find somebody in chiaroscuro who could give us a water barge, lend us access to a water barge.
Okay.
That's my pitch.
I like that pitch. And here's how I'd like to resolve it. So first of all, you get a +1 e-rolls you make in the pursuit. Oh, there was one last thing, and this is mostly just a possible granting of a wish. You realize that the Zygarians and the Clatuinians of the Well have a working relationship as well. Not friendly buddy, but not enemies either. Because there was a wish, more Milo, so just backdooring that possibility. But I kind of like the idea of you guys using Grim to get you guys personally in.
I'd forgotten about that wish. Would it be possible to call in the debt that Milo owes me and Yuka by extension? They have access to the well, which is where the water comes from. So might I be better off using them as our way in rather than Grim?
Not even a roll. With Grim, I think there's a possibility of failure, but you're calling on a debt from this gang. They will deliver.
What do we think, team?
I like it.
Because the other thing I'm inclined to invoke is the chiaroscuro folk in that water barge.
Right. That I kind of felt like you were leaning that way too. That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely a straight lift from the Mandalorian. I mean, I even have Gravel Var to lead them.
There you go. Wow, it totally is. Okay. So which way do you want to go? Do you want to go with Clatuinians or do you want to go with your chiaroscuro gang?
I think, I'd like to go with both, Rich. I'd like to use the Clatuinians to get access to water and a barge.
Okay.
That I would like to load up with a bunch of chiaroscuro folk.
Nice. I like it. So after scouting from below the inroad, after BO's death experience, not really a near-death experience, or maybe we call it an untenable life experience. I don't know. The four of you leave with Sind. You now have like that. I think the animal, the mother doesn't accept it back.
I see.
It's gone. Like it's gone from that family as far as that mother seems. Like she even hisses at it.
It's been pushed back out.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I picked that up. Yeah, I picked that up and I slide it back inside the little pouch that I have. Maybe I wrap it up a little bit and slide it back inside the pouch. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm thinking, like, just for reference, like fist sized.
Yeah.
Just so we all have the same kind of frame of reference for size. Cool. The four of you take off. You end up calling in. We have like a musical montage bit. I'm looking at time, and it might be a little too early, unless we take like a couple 5-minute, on the hour. But it seems like a commercial, right? It's a musical montage of Crix going among the Chiaroscuro friends that he's made and telling them about this like Zygerian thing. Like, is this what is Crix's interaction with the gang? Is it a monumental among the troops speech that we're going to go destroy these Zygerian slavers, or is it a we've got this single job type deal? How are you imagining the pitch to your gang is?
I think it's about, look, that I've helped all of you one way or another, and as a community we help one another. And these kids are now part of this community. And the reason we need to do something about this is because, point to the overpass in the distance. The Zygerians are kidnapping and shipping kids like these all over the place. Now, that's not the sort of thing we think's right, is it?
I think the cabbage merchant is one of your people, because that interests me. And he says, we can't let that happen. This is a new Dathomir. It's different.
The next thing you know, and I'm looking to the family folks around here, maybe it's your kid or your kid or your kid.
Oh, that gets it back up. Yeah.
We need to do something about this, or this is just the Dathomir we used to have.
Nice. And then a still pretty wounded Yuka, Sin, Crix, and the one that was BO, you meet with Milo, right? You've gathered your forces. Now you need water and a water barge to deliver it. And sorry, we're like, I hope everybody isn't mad that we're doing like really chopped up scenes, but I'm going with a cool vibe. So what's the approach to talk to Milo? Yuka and Crix shows you guys.
I'm going to hand it off to Yuka.
Yeah, I think Yuka will literally just call in a debt. You've gotten you got a life for free. Now we need your help making sure that these kids get their lives back.
Nice. So you guys go to the well, which is the place she calls home and has the most power. The well is crawling with Clatuinians, right? They seem to be a little more armed than before, a little more concerned about things, and they all have their place near the enormous circular pit ring with Duracrete ledges full of drinkable water. Milo looks at the two of you, and we've got a picture for Milo now in the NPCs. She's wearing like this helmet. She was not wearing that before. And yeah, so since Milo is now wearing some like symbol of authority or something that looks expensive to show that she's way more important than she was before. What is it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say Sin? I meant to say
Yeah,
Sin.
you
Anyway,
did,
in my
you
brain
did.
was. Okay. Yeah, Sin, you see on Milo as Yuka is talking and Crix is nearby. You see on Milo that she's now wearing something that's either ostentatious or a symbol of authority or power. Don't forget that Rich is totally harping on the Klaatu Indians are dog people. So if you can make it dog related, that would just tickle me to no end. But you don't have to.
So I think what she's wearing is actually symbols of enemies she's vanquished. So I think what we see are there's a piece of an imperial officer's like bar, and it's like sort of like a it's not a braid, but it's almost like this long strip of cloth. And I think we just see different things that have been put down. Sin notices this because there's actually a Dathomirian symbol on that, that doesn't belong there. But I think at the top is a symbol from her brother that Yuka and Crix helped take out. I don't know what piece that would be of his, maybe a part of his helmet or something like that.
I'm gonna go with the thing of the she's wearing the studded collar that Rex
Oh
had.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there we go. Ooh, his ear. Boy, that's some grisly stuff there. No, I think we'll go with studded collar. I like that one. That makes me happy. Sweet. So we snap back in. Yuka, you're talking about, hey, I gave you a free life, and Milo says, you refused to pay me. We had a deal and you didn't want the deal. You laughed at me.
I believe I was being assaulted by an assassin droid before we could complete our deal.
Yeah. You made short work of him.
I also think with your help, I can make short work of these Zygardians. And if if I do, there will also be a lot of people looking for a new gang to join. Which, with someone who helps displace them, could be yours.
We're not slavers. Can't stop the Zygarians. Imperials are fine with it. I don't like them.
Oh, we can stop them. It's just a matter of if you'd like to or not.
All right. Now, here's you swaying her. She's going to mark the debt. The water barge is a thing, but if you sway her successfully, she's going to throw some Klaatuinians in and increase the size of your gang. And if you fail, she's going to throw some Klaatuinians in. It's going to increase the size of your gang, and then they're going to turn on you.
Oh, that's an 8.
Damn. I mean, yeah. I'm a fan of you players. She says, any of my Klaatuinians die on this thing, we got to be made right. If we can get off the Zygarians enough to pay that debt, good. If not, you pay it.
Of course. I'll gladly pay with whatever I have.
She looks at you for a moment as if to say, don't look like you have much. But she doesn't say it. And she looks to Crix, silently asking, you got Yuka's back on this boast?
You know I'm good for it.
She lets out a few yips and barks, and the Klaatuinian gang, now Milo's pack, hops too, and they start collecting huge jugs of water to load onto a small skiff. I'm imagining akin to like the skiff, Jabba's sail barge that seem okay to folks. That doesn't seem like a whole gang would fit on it though. So maybe we go with something that like scaled bigger, but generally has that kind of look. Is that cool?
Yeah, I was thinking of, a kind of reconfigured garbage scow of some description.
Ooh, nice. Reconfigured garbage scow works for me. I like that. I totally see the Klaatu Indians kind of go in the way of the Sopranos, and they do garbage collection as their front.
And I think, you know, the idea of it being repurposed to carry water routinely tells you everything you need to know about Dathomir and water quality.
Cool. All right. Well, I think I am going to have 2 5-minute breaks, if that's cool, folks. So let's take our first bio break. We'll cut back with you guys arriving at the inroads. And we're back. We pick up with a skiff double the size of the skiffs we see in Return of the Jedi. It's very large. No, I like the Garbage Scout. We're going with Garbage Scout. I think that's way better. So Garbage Scout, very blocky. Imagine a freighter, like a heavy freighter, but it's not as large as what might be a ship-faring heavy freighter. The thing's rising up, and it's I'm totally imagining the whole like American garbage dumpster type deal where like there's a little bit of water that's leaking out of one of the, it's just kind of dripping water as it takes off into the air. It is not perfectly sealed, and it makes its way towards the inroad. There's a bridge. Who is aboard the bridge? I imagine Crix, right? Because these are your people.
I think it has to be me. I wish it wasn't, but I think it has to be me, because we have no one with any kind of pilot stuff move, have we?
I don't think so, no. Pilot moves aren't really a thing in Apocalypse World Burned Over. What would you fly? I'd imagine Harriers might be able to pull it off. There isn't even a move for it. It's just a thing you do, trying such. Okay. So you're flying along, and the one was known as BO. You see that Ravita, she's wearing this helmet, and there's like a face mask thing. She pulls the face mask down, and she says, "I heard you died."
Oh, hey Ravita. Yeah, no, I didn't die. I'm still here, still Bayo, still here. Definitely still Bayo.
She like throws her arms around you. Oh, when I heard that you got hurt, I was so scared.
I think Bayo like kind of like really leans into the hug. Like when she wraps her arms around him, he kind of like really relaxes and kind of takes a beat to kind of just feel peaceful. And then he does the quick, like, okay, all right, let me pat the back, the hug's over. And he just says, yeah, no, thanks for your concern, Ravita, but I'm fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
I'm better now. A little scared, but I really like those kids.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I was we got to get them back home, of course. And that's
do we really?
We should though. Is I was the thought occurred to me as well, because they are quite a lot of fun. They ask you some really intense questions. I don't know about you, Ravita, but they were like leaning into me about who I am, what I am, and it was intense. They really had my number on that one. And so I think, yeah, they should go back to their own parents and do that to them. But it's nice, the whole kid thing. It's nice.
And there's a moment where maybe she misunderstands what you're saying and smiles bashfully. We cut to Yuka, and oddly enough, in this dingy, I'm imagining that whatever passenger space is in a garbage scow is not nice. But there are Clatuinians here. There are members of the chiaroscuro band, the gang, cabbage guys handing out red cabbages to people. Eat up, it'll keep you healthy. This is very good for you. And I think Morgan Stardust is there, and he's got like a little back to spray, and he says, "This is all I could scrounge up, Yuka, but you can't go in there like this."
Yes, I can.
Well, you may not come out. That's more important.
No, it's not. Getting those kids, getting the slavers stopped is what's important. My life is very meaningless in the fight to take down slavery in the universe.
Well,
I
I need-
appreciate the back display, but you need better choice of words.
maybe it's more important to me.
Yeah, if that is like a lead balloon, that does not take off for Yuka. She is like taking the back to spray, applying it, like emotions. No, it hits her and bounces off, and she is oblivious.
Nice. I like that. And Morgan, as it's your roommate, he understands. He was trying to offer what maybe it's meaningful to him, but he understands that the sentiment may not be returned or even understood, but he had to express it. Let's say that will heal a segment for you. So you'll be back down to 6 o'clock. Ooh, it's Donovan. Go to Donovan. Go tell him good morning. Yeah, go. Sorry, dog and son woke up. So go. Yeah, there you go. All right. Cool. So you'll heal with time. We'll see if you get that time. And the garbage cow, imagining that it has the sound effect, or I guess this low, very brassy rumble. It's coming over, and we see the shadow that it casts over the inroad as you're coming in. Now, there was a picture I wanted to share because it's going to save me so many words, friends, right? That's the whole deal. That's why we do a picture. This is, about 1,000. Thank you. This is a picture of the Strident, the Zygarian slaver ship. It is a blocky, ancient looking thing, many decades old. You can see that it is worn. It kind of looks a little bit like a sand crawler, but that is the only ship that is parked here at the inroads. You see that there are a ring of tents around the outside of this particular area, as if they've expanded and threw up temporary housing. But then there are also more permanently built Duracrete buildings that have been built on top of what was just a Duracrete bridge centuries ago before the city fell. And there is space for the water scow to come down and hover, but Crix, you're not entirely sure if the weight of this thing and the water, how sure it is a good idea to just land this thing. Totally up to you. Just letting you know that threat is a possibility.
I think I'm going to call BO up to the bridge. Hey kid, your eyes are better than mine. What do you see down there? Because what I'm curious about is who's in those tents.
Yeah, let me take a look. I scan the compound and read the situation. Perhaps
you should read a charged situation. Roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, you get 3 questions right now. 7 to 9, you get 1 question.
I got a 9.
Now, with a 9, do you want to call for some help?
Nah. Let's keep it moving. I got 1 question. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
All right. So specifically, Crix was asking me who's in those tents down there. So my question is going to be related to that. It's actually going to be, what should I be on the lookout for?
Nice. What should you be on the lookout for? Okay. I'll answer with the tents, but the primary thing that you should be on the lookout for is the fact that the Strident has 2 turrets, and while they're not currently manned, you see there are people in the Strident. Maybe they don't like it's air conditioned there, smells better there, who knows? But there are Zygarians who are on the Strident. Now, to speak about the tents, you see those tents again. more recent structures, temporary structures have been loaded up. Evidently, they're the overflow for storage of more recently arrived slaves.
Okay. Yeah, Crix. That looks like there's more slaves in those tent areas. But if I may, while I'm here, I don't know if you saw these, but there's turrets on that ship, and if this goes sideways on us, that thing could chew through us before we had a chance. This garbage heap ain't much for armor, I don't think.
So are you telling me that those tents are exclusively Zygarian, or are you telling me they're exclusively slaves? I suppose I wasn't quite sure from the description.
It's Zygarian slaves who are in the tents.
Damn. Okay. Far be it for me to read somebody else's move, but I am looking at Sniff the Wind.
Oh yeah, of course. That is, I forgot that that's my my move.
Thank you. I should have.
And
I
ask a
should have
free
prompted.
additional question, of course. All right. Good work, Alan. All right. So Sniff the Wind. When you read a situation, ask a free additional question. Furthermore, include these in the list of questions you can ask. So I can ask potentially one from here or another one from the read a situation list. Who here is the most afraid? How close to the wolves? Who here would do what I ask? What or who is the source of the most pain or fear here? Let me look back at read a sitch. I think okay, so I think I'm going to take a free question from the read a situation list, and I'm going to take the what's my best way through, knowing now that those tents are filled with slaves. I think looking for the best way to get to where we need to go. I think that's the question.
Yeah. So you guys are delivering water. And
Delivering
yeah,
water.
delivering water. So using that as part of your lie to get to the slaves, so and so told me to bring these guys some water, is probably your best way in. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, what I had in my mind here was that we use this to get up here, and then the four of us aim to get on board the ship and take it out of commission. Because the idea was, how can we get up here stealthily?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then our gang is going to have some trouble unloading the water. It's going to buy some time, by which time we've got control of those turrets. What do you think, team?
Sounds good, Crix. You know, you always had a lot of good plans. I can see why Ravita looks up to you like that. You know, you're a smart guy. You really put things together.
Yeah, I'm not the only one she's looking at, BO.
What?
Anyway, you primed to go?
How hard do I need to strike first?
Well, we need to get on that ship, okay, quietly, and then get to those turrets.
Do we need the turrets?
Well, I'd much rather we had them than they had them.
Got it. If we don't have them, no one should have them. I'll make sure of that.
Exactly. But I want to avoid any significant damage that's going to hurt people, right? Because we don't know where all the slaves are. There are some out here, there are some on the ship. Because you did talk about overflow, didn't you, Rich?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Sounds like no one is arguing with the plan. Sin, where have you been on this scow?
So I think I'm in the back. I think whenever the hug happened with Bayo, I think whenever they split apart, Sin just kind of shook her head as if in mild disapproval, and associating with the off-worlders. And she listens to Crix's plan, and she hears, we're going to drive them off of this place and keep them from taking the kids. I think she has Sin. I've got a beef to pick with these because they have taken slaves from here off world. And you know, I don't mind taking these guys out. I think that's a good idea. And whenever Crick says, you know, we don't want to hurt anyone because there are children present, you know, I think she looks up and says, you mean hurt anyone other than the Zygarians, right?
Yeah, no, we don't want to hurt any slaves. Yeah,
Yeah.
children or not.
All right. So you bring this water scow down, and there are some Zygarians who move out. One has a battle rifle. All of them have their electro whips. They're hard people, right? They're excited. They welcome water. This isn't out of the norm for them to get deliveries, but they don't trust. So as you bring the scow down, members of the Chiaroscuro band will start hauling out. They're bringing large barrels of water. Maybe one of them scuttles out to where there's a container that's part of the scow itself that they've hooked up to where they can, you know, pour water out. They're working on that, but yeah, these Zygarians are going to be watching each of them. And
Well, Grim can go among my enemies and return. So I think Grim is going to be point man here, and he's going to engage the Zygarians in, you know, where do you want the water put? And then there's a lot of people, you know, in kind of hooded, you know, just perfect disguise, helping fill barrels. And do you need any on the ship? And then 4 people set off with the hose towards the ship.
Nice, cool. I will give you guys an opportunity here then with that. That's what Grim offers you. I think that you guys are trying to act under fire. I think I'm going to borrow from Forged in the Dark here, in that one person will be the leader of the group and another could potentially assist them if they so wish. Who's the leader here in the 4 of you skulking yourselves aboard the Zygarian ship, the Strident?
I think it's probably Crix.
Definitely.
Seems fair.
Not least because he has 2 cool.
He's too cool
also,
for school.
And he also has +1 because his tactical internal conversation gave him +1 forward. So it would make sense to roll 2d6 +3, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
Sin, do you agree to be led?
Oh, sorry.
Just checking it. You already rolled? It's all good.
Yeah. I don't have any problems following Crix. He showed some wisdom and agreed to help me with he who was called Bao's ascendance later.
Nice. That's right. Cool. So how did you roll?
7 + 3 is 10.
Oh, you need no help from others, because on a 10+, you're solid. You can do it. We see 4 hooded figures, one of them taller than the others, with her Ithorian head barely hidden by the hood. And you guys are able to just work around the Zygarians as Grim and the cabbage dealer. I think the 2 of them are pretty loud as they're drawing attention. And the cabbage, look, these will grow even better. And the Zygarians like, I hate cabbage. Go away. And then you guys sneak your way to the ship. And
I'm assuming, you know, there's some ramp.
yeah,
And, you know, we take the hose up the lat ramp to connect it to the
they lower the
reservoir.
ramp as you're bringing in to refill it, and you're aboard, but there are a couple of Zygarians there. They don't aim battle rifles at you, but one has one slung across her back, and the other one he has his electro whip, and they're they're cat people, right? So they're like, there, just hook it in there. They're not going to help you. They're not going to do the work. You come in, and this is huge. You've seen the picture. This is a very, very large and cavernous hole that you've come into, and they've got a particular like place where you can stick the hose and refill all of the water reservoirs for the ship. The ship itself has a peculiar odor of like unwashed peoples. It's not incredibly clean in points. This is old. Perhaps it was nicer decades upon decades ago. But other than the pair of Zygarians here, it appears that it's a relatively skeleton crew, at least on this level. So yeah, once you guys get aboard, the ramp is still down, a little bit of the wind passing by beneath you. Yeah, we do have dog people versus cat people. Oh my gosh, that's very exciting to me. Can't have dogs and cats living together because that would cause mass hysteria. Sin, what is it about these Zygarians that you find most interesting?
Interesting. I find that their sense of community, how they stick together, and they seem to have each other's back. That's the most interesting thing because it's something I wish I had. You know, the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers really aren't there that much anymore.
Nice. And Crix, I assume you or Bayo are fixing the hose. The female Zygarian, she catches sight of you, Sin, and she marches over to you and reaches and pulls back that hood. I see. And who are you?
So I think now is the time that I'm going to make sure that she doesn't say anything. And I'm going to slit her throat.
Oh, shit.
And there was I expecting these are not the water carriers you're looking for.
She's got like these like long nails, like claw-like nails, and she just kind of caresses your cheek, not expecting anything popping off coming out, but let's see how this goes. So you're gonna just, I think I Rich was surprised. So I think that you're attacking someone. She did not see this coming. She really thought, oh, I'm just going to be really mean to this Night Sister. So
And
when you attack someone, roll plus hard.
Is this the one where we roll 2d6 and another 2d6?
Nope,
And then make a choice?
that's when you're doing battle, because that means that they would attack back. You're just straight up, you got the drop on her.
Yeah.
Because you shocked the hell out of me. So you get to roll plus hard, which is 1. Is that boxcars?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so attack someone I've chosen on the basic moves. That looks amazing. You get to choose 2 of the following. You inflict harm as established. What's the weapon that you're using?
I have an innate dagger. It's a very ceremonial thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think while the Zygarian's distracted with like pulling back the hood and everything, I kind of reach behind and slip that out of my belt. And while her arm is up and can't attack, I'm going to slip around behind her and see if I can't drop her quietly.
Okay. You get 2 options on attack someone. If you choose inflict terrible harm, I'm going to say that happens, right? 3 harm to her neck. You can drop her. Yeah, instant kill mode. That we did not expect this from Sin.
Right.
We
So
should have.
That's exactly
We
what
should
happens.
have.
Is we see a in Star Wars fashion, we see like this black spray against the side of the wall of the ship, and then we see this crumpled body. and Sin standing there behind it as we see the reaction from. You said there were two, right?
Yeah, there are two of them. Yeah. And the other one did not have a battle rifle with him. He's gonna reach for his electric whip and it is on. Fighting is happening.
Ayo's gonna tackle this guy as he draws his whip.
Okay, he wants to hurt you, so we are now doing battle.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Bayo will knock out this other one, giving Sin a problem, and then Sin just executed them. Okay, so doing battle. All right. So I'm rolling 2d6 -1, and I'm doing it twice, and then assigning 1 to. Is that right? I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. So you roll twice.
Okay.
You assign one result to the attack someone move, the other result to the act under fire move. Attack someone uses hard, act under fire uses cool.
And so one of those will be, am I still rolling the -1 stat for doing battle and then just kind of putting 2 results? The reason I'm asking is my cool is +1. So act under fire would be +1.
You're rolling 2d6 flat, then adding hard or cool.
Oh, I see.
That's way better.
That's the way to
description of
phrase it.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
like that.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll go ahead and roll two rapid fire. All right, I got a 4 on one, hot rolls, and a 6 on the other. Listen, guys, it's going well for old Bayo.
Can I potentially help?
I think you're busy in assassinating, if that's okay. I appreciate the offer, but I think if somebody else wanted to help, maybe.
I have a move called Mother Bear. When you do battle, no matter what you roll, blah, which you must spend to guard someone. Can I use that to protect Bayo?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you can do that.
I'm just thinking if the help move says, what can I do to help you? But I don't know whether, I don't know when else to use that move.
Right. That's fair. I think what we'll do is we'll just say that you get a hold against you must spend to guard someone. So yep. It is a move that maybe in the new do battle doesn't make as much sense. So we'll use it in that way. Cool. So we've got a 6 and a 4.
Sure
you do. You rolled twice. You mark both stats. That's a great question.
All right. So I'll assign the 6 to my act under fire. So my cool is +1. That gives
there
me
you go.
You
push yourself to
9
success. Okay.
on that. And then my doing battle or my attack someone roll will become a 3.
Okay. That is literally the worst. Which I'm happy about. I mean, I'm a fan of you. Okay. On a miss, be prepared for the worst. You don't get a choice. The good news is that you inflict harm as established. It's tackle, right? Knock him to the ground. But I think what happens is he whips that thing around you before you finish the tackle. And this is where Crick's guarding someone would come into play, because he would use that to electrocute you and effectively stun the living crap out of you. But you have Mother Bear, which allows you to guard someone if there's no one to guard. So okay, so what does guard mean? Let's look up guard in the moves. That's not there. Awesome, doesn't exist. What does guard do?
It's when you do battle, you get +1 hold. So whatever I would roll for do battle, I would get 1 more hold.
Okay.
And there are a set of 5 bullets for attack someone.
None of which say guard someone.
No, but get them out of your way, knock them down, drive them away, fight past them, or even impress, frighten, and dismay them, so that I hack at the whip with the shovel and take the edge off, and it fucks. Say.
Okay. I like that.
Because that would stop the effect on Bayo. Is where I'm going. Rich.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll use that hold to say that happens. Cool. Because of Mother Bear, you pop in with the shovel, this terrifying shovel, and deactivate the electric whip before it does too much damage to the Night Brother, formerly known as BO. Now, Yuka, this was not quiet, and you hear some running, and I'm curious what you want to do about that.
Running towards us, I suppose.
Yes, thank you. Should have been clearer. Running towards you, and you see amongst the down the long shaft of the hold, there are a couple of areas that like cut off into different rooms, and you see dun, 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 coming down a set of stairs is a Zygarian, and then coming out from one of the other areas is a second Zygarian.
Okay, so I will, since they're coming out of multiple areas, I will pull out my legal heavy bolter and walk out to greet them.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. So your heavy bolter in your gear is
It's a 3
scoped
harm.
fire bolter.
No, that's a 3 harm, close, messy reload.
Sweet. Okay.
I use bolter to use anything that's not a blaster in Star Wars. So anything that fires projectiles.
Oh, other gear. I was
It's
really
way
confused.
low.
Yeah,
I
you've
have
got
too
so
many
much
weapons.
gear. You have so many weapons. You are literally festooned with weapons. Awesome. I think that this is doing battle.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Oh,
I'll
yeah, that's
roll-
true. Do you want to hit dangerous presence, by the way?
I think we're beyond that.
Okay, fair.
Let me roll twice and add these results. That is a 6 and an 8. I will apply the 8 to the action under fire and the 6 to attack someone. So the 6 becomes a 7.
Smart. So you got yourself 2 middling successes from that. You will swap harm, which means that I think one of them has a blaster pistol. So they're gonna whip out that blaster pistol and fire at you while you lay waste with some of your bolter. Now, the bolter, illegal heavy bolter, 3 harm, close, messy, reload. Ooh, that is going to be scary against the one person that you hit. You get, from a mixed result on attack someone, you get a choice. What do you want?
So let me see what attack someone does. Then I will I am going to seize hold of something, which I think is going to be a pathway to one of the turrets.
Ooh, okay. So you're less worried about dealing with this one person, thinking more open to seizing the turrets, which is your ultimate.
Yeah, or at least
choice.
getting to the turrets. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. And then in act under fire with a mixed result, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. You might suffer full harm, or the MC can offer you a hard bargain. Unfortunate choice. Yeah. So I think you fire upon the Zygarian that has a blaster pistol. He shoots you as well. The 2 of you are swapping harm. The 2 harm blaster pistol that he's using, I'm going to say, due to that, you're going to take full harm. You're taking both harm.
Okay, that'll be 0 harm to be done. I still need to roll the harm move, I believe.
You do, yeah.
So rolling it with 0. That is a 5.
Okay. Well, in past, that would have been a happy result.
Yeah.
In now, you, on a miss, the MC chooses 1. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed. Or choose 2 from the 7 to 9. I think.
There's no way help can help here, is there?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think help on harm, but that's a fair question. I'm going to choose 7 to 9. The MC I get 2 from the 7 to 9 list. The first one is that I like the idea that because you've got so many weapons, you lose your grip on whatever you're holding. And I'm going to interpret that as the blaster pistol, maybe it hit part of the bolter itself and knocked that away after you had shot him. He's falling to a knee, like it just threw him off balance. He's not dead, but he's definitely in a world of pain because that's 3 harm and he does not have armor on. And then the second option that I'm going to choose is that interesting. Yeah, I think lose your footing. Like it's a thing where you got blasted back. I like the idea of Yuka, the ever stalwart, paying a small cost here, but you take 0 harm from that. It's just a momentary setback for you. You do, however, create a pathway to the turret. The other Zygarian is coming up with an electro whip. You have 1 target. They're going to come up and they're attacking Sin. They think that it's Night Sister, and they are attacking you, Sin. You've already murdered 1 of the Zygarians. I'm curious, Crix, you helped out BO. Yuka has harmed 1of the Zygarians. There's 1 guard left who's now engaging with Sin. So Sin, since you're the target here, what do you do?
I'm not sure what move this would engage, but basically what I want to do is I know what battle with a whip looks like, and I want to position myself to give one of my companions an opening. So they think the big problem is me. I'm going to keep their focus so someone else can stab them in the back.
That sounds like you're trying something challenging or dangerous.
Fantastic. Okay. And that's with aggro, is that right?
It is. Don't forget to mark the stats that you all are rolling. When you do battle, you get to mark 2 stats, which is kind of cool.
Let me roll that. Wow. So that is a 0.
I think you got their attention.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Boxcars to snake eyes. That's amazing.
That is swingy stuff. I feel like we're playing D20 now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You definitely keep their attention. I think you basically move right and they whip and lace you around. And this thing was not set to stun. It was set for pain. And so I think you take full harm, right? You were trying to draw it. That's the miss is 3 harm to you, Sin. Do you have any armor that would help you in being electrocuted in this fashion?
Well, so I think I have armor. I put that down. I thought it was some of the clothing, but I don't think it would prevent from electrocution.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so did you just now mark that harm? You just now marked that harm.
I just now marked that, yeah.
Okay, roll 2d6 minus 3 because you get to roll the harm move. As we see like that electrocution thing, we see the electricity across your eyes. Does Sin scream or is she quiet?
I think she screams, definitely. This is not something she was used to. She was expecting a different way of fighting with a whip, and this surprised her.
Nice. So you rolled again amazingly high. Flip side, you rolled an 11 minus the 3 from the harm, which means that you get a 7 to 9. And I think I'm looking at the option. I'm trying to if there's a way to within these options fulfill a wish. Lose your footing, lose your grip on whatever you're holding, lose track of someone or something you're attending to, misnoticing something important. Does anyone have any ideas here? I don't want to just go with the boring you drop something.
Lose track of the fact that there's someone coming up behind us.
The ramp is open. I like that too. Unless folks are like, please, not more reinforcements. That seems interesting to me. Okay, cool. Since your body seizes and locks up, you take the most pain at one point you've taken in at least a long while, if ever.
Yeah.
And you would be the one close enough for the reinforcements that you could have noticed them or said something, but you miss noticing that in the flash of white hot pain as you fall to the deck. So, Yuka, you see that the last Zygarian has locked up Sin with his electric whip. You've got a pathway to the turret. You could just forego them and take that turret right here and now. There's no impediment to you. There's nothing blocking you from doing that. What do you do?
Sin's in pain. Do I notice the others coming in behind Sin or whatnot? Or do we want to say that? I think
I
you
do want to
will
remind
just,
us that there's a gang out there.
yeah. I think Yuka will just like she's lost the bolter, so she'll let it slide back towards the others. Hopefully one of them will pick it up, and she'll I think draw out her Wookiee crossbow blaster and just head towards the turret.
Okay, cool. Bam, you can take the turret. You head down that side passage that one of the Zygarians would come running out of. You can drop in. There's a little headset. It's not made for your head. They don't have ergonomic multi-species builds for Zygarian stuff. It's just made for Zygarians, but you don't have to have it. I imagine it's a weird squeeze. The little 9-box grid pops up for your targeting matrix, and there's power on the ship, so you can just flick a few buttons and bring it online if you so wish.
I do. And is there a building here that looks like it is the biggest concentration of Zygarians? Or
Yeah, one of the permanent fixtures.
Yeah, let's see how much harm this turret does to it.
So we, of course, I can't help myself. I have to play the appropriate. As you start lighting up the Zygarian building, we hear explosions, and one of the Zygarians flies away, slams into a column of some kind. They're going to scramble, but they don't have any heavy weapon. Like, that's what the ship's for. So that is definitely, you've stirred up a hornet's nest there, Yuka. Crix, we have a Zygarian guard here, and there are a couple of Zygarians that are moving quickly and quietly up the ramp to try to engage you guys.
Yeah, can I flash back to earlier on the garbage scow, where Grabblevar, the cabbage storekeeper, and whatever Lieutenant Milo has put into the game, where I say, once stuff happens on the ship, light them up.
Nice.
And I would like to use that to command my gang as a tool or weapon to pin down the Zygarians who are outside the ship.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So let's have you use leadership here.
Yeah. So roll plus hard, and I'm thinking, yeah. So let me roll plus hard because that's -1.
Oof, yeah.
They are volunteers, not pressed men. Oh, that is a 10. -1 is a 9.
Nice. On any hit, they do it.
Uh,
Yes.
so that's fine. So yeah, so as these Zygarians are heading, sneaking up the ramp, there's kind of pew 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 from behind them, which I'm hoping will keep any more Zygarians pinned down outside.
Yeah, I like that. We're gonna say that Coco, KOH, Coco the Clatuinian is the lieutenant of Milo, and Coco, she comes in with her, yeah, I think it's like a blast rifle, and she and the others start laying waste on some Zygarians, and yeah, you see some blaster fire down the ramp as they are firing, and now these Zygarians who are on the ramp are caught between a rock and a hard place. BO, Sin is in pain. You're a knight, brother. What are you doing?
Bayo, he's back. He needs to defend the Night Sister. He's gonna draw his hunting knife and engage with the Zygarian.
The Zygarian screams, "Drop it or I'll kill her!" And he starts to twist this dial on his whip.
Yeah, Bayo doesn't pause. He goes right through. He dives right at him, knife blade out. The hope is even with the knife, if he can get him onto the ground, he'll be a lot easier to control. He won't be able to shock. He won't be able to use his weapons. If my knife isn't strong enough to end him, at the very least, he'll be in a position not to harm Sin.
Okay. I feel like you're trying something. No, I think, yeah, you're acting under fire here, right? You're willing to put Sin's life in danger with the surety that you're fast enough. Does that feel fair?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. Let's have you act under fire. Try to keep together under stress. So roll plus cool.
A 9.
A 9. Okay. Do you wish to call for any help or?
No, I feel like everyone's pretty clocked into a lot of other stuff. So a mixed success or a 9 or whatever it's labeled in this is just okay enough.
Nice. Okay. So I'm going to give you a hard bargain.
Yeah, hit me.
The hard bargain is this. You've brought that knife to bear.
Mm-hmm.
The choice is, as you shove that knife into this Zygarian, is, does Sin take further harm? Perhaps causing her life to become untenable? Or do you somehow cause this electric whip to malfunction and explode, killing the Zygarian and harming you?
It's the second option. Absolutely. The calamitous crash between me and the Zygarian. My knife maybe slices through the hilt of the electro whip, and it detonates directly in between our chests.
Yes.
So hopefully my tattooed sigils of protection are going to work.
Hope so. This is 4 harm coming your way from the explosion right there. If you have armor, it will apply.
Okay, so I'm taking
You have
2
those
harm.
you have the sigils of protection. That is 2 harm. Unreliable. Do we know what that means? The unreliable part?
I believe I looked that up. Correct me if anybody else knows. I believe unreliable just means that on misses and stuff like that, you can use that as a means to mess with the armor.
Okay.
In the
not
old
sure
rules,
requires
it
a
meant that if you roll doubles, it does not work.
Oh.
Whether it's positive doubles or negative doubles.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. Okay. You did not roll doubles.
Okay. So I will take 2 harm.
roll your harm move.
I'm rolling the harm move.
Yeah, you roll
Okay.
2d6 minus 2, the 2 harm you actually took.
Right, of course. And I got a 4.
Got a 4. Okay. Yeah, I think you do that thing, it explodes. It just you're dazed. You're out of it for a bit. I'm going with the less unconscious and more ringing in your ears. That explosion has knocked you out. You're covered with your own blood, the blood of the Zygarian that just blew up. Yeah, that is. You sound the character use. They ask you whether this time it works. Is that there? Where did you find that?
That's in the rule book.
That's awesome.
On page 100.
Oh, second edition?
No, of Burned Over, the more recent Burned Over.
Oh, the full-on zine version?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
It just doesn't seem a very tight ruling to me. Puts a lot of pressure
Yeah.
on the MC.
To decide, hey, narratively, this actually, it's basically like, hey, MC, do you want to kill me right now?
Yeah.
Which is cool. I guess I'm fine with that.
They ask you, the MC, whether this time it works. The answer is you think fast. Yeah, I would love to. Like, on one hand, I don't like super fiddly rules. On the other hand, that I also don't like caveat, GM caveat. Anyway, all right, cool. So I say it works, and that explosion happens, and your ears are ringing, and you're out of it for a bit. We know what Yuka's up to, laying waste. Sin, the pain stops, and you see BO lying on the ground. You heard an explosion. Maybe it was him. Crix and some others are fighting a few other Zygarians. You're lying on the deck. You could just lay here. You could just, they'll take care of it, right? No one's watching you.
I
No
think
one would
that
know.
I think as I kind of come to, I look up and I see Bayo, and Bayo is like covered in his own blood and the blood of the Zygarian. But I think where that oil has traced, I think it kind of soaks in, and that blood kind of soaks in, and that's the protection from those tattoos and everything. And we
Nice.
see like the tattoo get a little bit darker.
But the lines get thicker.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think that she kind of, that I think that kind of strengthens her and reminds her, and so she kind of pushes herself up. And you said Crix is fighting with a couple of Zygarians. Are these the ones that came up the ramp?
Yes.
Oh, I was
They're
hoping they'd been drawn off by the fire from behind them. I have to say that's why I was using the
okay.
gang.
I thought they were engaging them, and it was a two-way battle. But yeah, okay, that's cool. So then that means there are no obvious threats here in the hold right at this moment. Sorry, I had to restate based off the result from Crix rolling pretty well.
Yeah. So in that case, I think I tell Crix. You said there were 2 turrets. Is that right?
There are.
And I hear one firing. I tell Crix, get to the other turret. We'll hold them off here. And I reach under Bayo's arm and start to pick him up, like wake him up and try and get him up. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
And as I run to the other turret, I'll shout to Sin, remember, you need to get the slaves off the ship. Open the pens, the hold.
Nice.
And then I run to the turret.
Sweet. So you run to this turret. Of course, it's on the compass opposite of the ship, so you don't have a direct shot at the building, but you definitely can pick out some targets if you want to lay some waste.
No, I want to rig it to explode.
Oh, that's very interesting. I like that. Cool. So Crix, you move in to rig the turret to explode. Is this a thing where you have You have some weapons you're going to do it? You think
No,
it's just where
nothing at
you're
all. I have
rigging it?
a shovel and a variety of other
That's what I
gardening
thought.
tools.
That's what I thought.
So this is akin to shooting the console.
We are in Star Wars. So you've got at least a 50-50 shot of pulling that. Let's try something challenging.
I would agree that this is potentially a bit challenging. So this
Yeah.
is roll plus aggro. So this is roll plus 2.
Yeah. You're very good at aggro. Goodness.
That's 6 plus 2 is 8.
Phew, good thing. Good thing. All right. On a 7 to 9, you can do it, but ask the MC what it'll cost you and decide for yourself if you want to go through with it. You might suffer harm. You're doing it with the shovel.
I'm doing it with a shovel.
Here's the question. Either you or the shovel, the tool or the wielder takes some harm. You can let the shovel be slagged, or you get to eat 2 harm AP from the electrocution.
I am unprepared to give up the shovel.
That is hilarious, and I love it. The shovel is
the +3
very
vorpal
mean.
shovel of Clatuinian destruction
It is
cannot be lost.
It is a vorpal shovel. All right, that is 2 harm AP. You eat it. You've just gone to 10 o'clock, have you not?
I have.
Oh my gosh, you guys are in rough. Dog's Bane vorpal shovel is a great name. I'm writing it down.
If I don't get stabilized, I'm going to get worse. But at least the turret's out of commission.
You still need to roll the harm move. 2d6 minus 2, please.
I do. 2d6 minus 2 is a 6.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, sorry, -1 armor.
Oh, okay. Then that would be a 7. And also you're not at 10 o'clock, you're at 9 o'clock.
I'm not at 10, I'm 9.
Oh, no. Sorry, I did say AP because it's electrocution.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I did say AP. So you do take the harm and it is a 6. Sorry.
I do have the harm move. It is a 6.
It is a 6. Okay.
The force is not with me.
The force is not with you. Yeah. So on a miss, I can forget or otherwise choose to forego the harm move case by case. Why not? Just like I can do that thing, but I've already done this, and I'm going to do it. So, yeah, it's worse than it seemed.
Oh,
it's worse than it seemed.
Hit me hard, MC.
You get 1 more harm. You get fully electrocuted. The thing, like the entire turret area, the light dims a little bit as you created this perfect connection. That shovel remains like if you just dropped it. I mean, it would have gotten slagged, but you held on.
Pull it out of that.
Finally, pull it free, but you are.
And there's the arcing electricity across from the panel.
Yes, and there's literal smoke like coming up from you singed hair. It's I mean, maybe later it'll look good because but yeah, all for a shovel. There we go. So that is, you are on the border of death. This is nasty. Sin, you pull BO up bodily. He is heavy. You are burdened with him figuratively and now literally. BO, or perhaps the Night Brother, formerly known as BO, you finally come to as I think your arms around Sin. She's helping you towards the slave pens where you see there are a number of people who are in cages and like reaching their hand through the bars.
Before we leave, I slap the little control on the side to bring the ramp up because we don't want anyone coming in, right?
Smart.
And I'm going to start. I think I pick you up. And as soon as you get kind of stable on your feet, I let you go and immediately start searching the body, or the parts of the body that are left, looking for some kind of key or something to open the pins with.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Would they all have it? I don't want to go to a move. I'm just gonna say, yeah. You find that there are these like weird squarish blocks on bits of metal on a ring, and you guys are able to fumble through, and you can find the ones that would open the locks to the cages here in the pens.
I think the key ring has like a little bit of cloth on it, and it's kind of got soaked in blood and that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, let's go find the pins and set everybody free.
Sweet. We cut to Yuka as you continue firing. There are some of the Zygarians who are firing weapons at the turret, but they realize they're not able to do much they can't get to you at this point. But as you continue firing on them, you see some have moved to the slave tents, figuring that that'll give them hostages, some way to no longer be in the line of fire for you. You see the Clatuinians and the Chiaroscuro band are moving among them, and it's a pretty pitched battle, Yuka. And unfortunately, as these guys are starting to engage, there are less large targets for you to hit from the turret. You can stay in Overwatch, but your engagement level, like you've got to pick your shots if you want to continue here at the turret.
Do I though? No. I think well, my plan at the end of this was to have was going to turn this turret on the other, but I think that might be a terrible mistake to do now if I did that.
Also in the firing arcs, and also now no longer needed. I was imagining them on like opposite sides. Yeah. So I don't think that you had a fire.
Okay, gotcha.
It, really.
So it wouldn't...
You could go after a wing, and make this thing inoperable as hell if that's what you want to do.
No, I think Crix does have a good plan. Are there people like storming up to this turret to try and get to stop firing?
What would I do? I'm trying to do firing. Hell, no, I think they were just trying to give wide berth.
I mean, like in the ship. Are there other guards?
There are people in the ship? Yeah, that's a great question. I imagine that yes, there are some Zygarians who are at this point. Maybe you've already fired a couple of blasts their way, but there is Zygarians who are trying to press in. They're getting screamed at to try to take out this turret.
Yeah, then I will follow the same example of Crix in a way. I will pull out my gravity hammer, shatter the firing mechanisms of this turret, and go back to towards the hold. However, that's going to require getting back there.
Awesome. So destroying, no offense to our Vorpal Shovel, I do love the tool, but it was not the right tool for the job. The gravity hammer is perfectly suited for destroying a turret. That's not even a role. Yeah. The role is doing battle with the Zygarians that are trying to take you out.
Oh, this is going to be a treat. So let me roll for both of these. That is a 9, and that is a 7.
That's pretty good.
I will apply the 9 to my attack someone, so that's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll apply the 7 to the act under fire, and with that, both of those give me experience.
Oh, lovely.
So I will, and I level up. So I already knew what I wanted to take.
Oh, you do?
So I think I'll have to ask you if it'll apply on this move or the move after, because I can hold my own now.
Mm-hmm.
I count as a small gang while doing battle.
Oh, yeah, this applies now. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. So I am John Wicking my way with a gravity hammer back to the hold. So with the 10 on the attack someone. Oh, since I'm going through a line of Zygarians, I'm gonna dismay I'm gonna dismay them and get them out of my way.
Okay, that sounds like sorry, I got a text from my wife who's driving home, so from like 2-day drive. So I just wanted to respond to that. So sorry about the lack of like glancing at my phone there. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
Cool. So you are impressed, frightened, or dismay is what you wanted to do, correct?
Impressed, dismay, or frightened, and get them out of my way with the
Get them out of
10
your
plus of the attacks on one.
That's fantastic. That sounds amazing and cinematic as all get out. With our mixed result on Act Under Fire, flinch, hesitate, or stall might suffer full harm. EMC can offer you a hard bargain. God, I feel like I'm handing out so much harm, but
I would say
Oh.
maybe the hard bargain is like having to decide between going to Crix's aid or Sin and Bao's.
that's relatively tough. Yeah. So do you want to, you're able to fight your way past these Zygarians with the success that you have? I think they are no match for you. You are like a one-man gang or a one female gang for an Astorian. Where do you go? You Crix or Sin and Bao? You got one or the other. You can't do both.
Yeah, I think Yuka will like. I think Yuka locks eyes with Sin as she's getting, like, she's like getting Bao up, like maybe sees the hope or something in her eyes. She's always kind of been this protector to Sin, as they've known. And with that vision she got last time, she will. I think she just literally just blinks blankly and turns her back on Sin and Bao and runs towards the other turret when she sees that Crix is not among them.
Nice.
And I think Sin turns to Bao and says, "See, it's only us left to protect ourselves. Let's go."
Bao, there are some Zabraks in these cages. There are some Dathomirians here, Sin, who you recognize. Evidently, they have been captured and are going to be drug off-world. You open those pens, they come rushing out, no hesitation. Some offering arms to others who are too weak to stand. And yeah, it's going to be a mass exodus. You've closed the ramp, but you know that they're going to try to open that ramp and get out of here.
Yeah, we'll definitely make a way for people to get out. We just didn't want anybody on the way in. Actually, I tell them, follow me, and we're gonna head down where the escape pods are.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
This is a big honking ship. I imagine there's a number of escape pods, enough for the entire crew. So the skeleton crew, you guys have run into 4 here. I think when you get there, Sin, do you and Bao, I'm curious, Bao following along? Anything you're doing here?
Bao and me is thinking, if we've closed the ramp and we have this action going on outside, I almost feel like we need to get this ship away from this enclave because we're fighting the skeleton crew. There's going to be tons of Zygarians outside of it. I think Bao thinks, and because I think this, that maybe we should pick the ship up and fly it just maybe even just to the other side of town to let people out where there's not slavers immediately, or take the ship and fly them back to where they came from. But I feel like opening the doors and just letting them walk out into the enclave in the middle of all this problems is just waiting for them to get killed almost.
So you're thinking that, and that's when Sin says we're going to the escape pods. Does that seem, does Bao go along, or you want to argue no, let's just fly the whole ship? Why make?
Well, I guess I'm wondering, escape pods, if they're launching from a parked ship, where are they gonna go really?
They're just going to shoot out over the inroad and kind of land in the middle
and blast
of the
into the city. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a Bao. I think Bao's gonna run to the bridge or try and see and just see. He just wants to see what's available to him. That's what Bao's gonna do.
Nice. Okay.
Cool. So Sin actually goes with you. Whenever you head off in a different direction, Sin gathers the children and the other slaves, and we all head up to the bridge with you. You've got the plan.
Wow, she's following your lead. That's awesome. Bao, you come up onto the bridge. It's I'm imagining a little more like Star Trek-y bridge in that you've got a few seats and it's a wider space because it's such a larger ship that they had the room for it. You see that there is a Zygarian who has like their feet are up on the console and there are all kinds of flashing lights and they are still asleep. They sleep hard, evidently. This Zygarian is out.
Okay. I move in and immediately go to secure that guy. That Zygarian. Whether it's I don't think I have any sort of manacles or anything like that. But just pulling him out of the chair and then getting the arms behind and leaning on him so that he can wake up, but he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, when you grab and throw him to the deck, he does wake up, and you can secure him. And there are a couple of people from the pens who are adults, and yeah, they will definitely secure this guy.
So I do that, and then BO, I ask, is anyone here a pilot? Can anyone fly this? Does anyone know anything about piloting?
Oof.
Because BO doesn't necessarily know.
I want to roll a die of fate here to answer that
Please
question.
do.
I'm going to roll dice in the Flacos roll, but that just is too interesting to me to say to just answer. I need to know. So 6, of course, means that there's an actual like straight up I've piloted something just like this. So 1 means someone says they piloted it, but they're lying. And the mixed results will just be, yeah, here we go. A 4. Cool. Okay. I think we take a look across the names and species helper. Piloting skill unreliable. Yep. I think what we have is there is a young Deveronian, like young adult, late teens Deveronian, and he says, "Yeah, I grew up in a fleet. I could fly. My mom, she was a freighter pilot. I've got it."
Knowing that there's multiple stations too, I think BO says, "Okay, get in the chair and tell us what you need. If anybody else has any help, we need to get you out of here. We're gonna get you out of here. We're here to save you all. We need to get out of here."
And I think one of them, like a human male, he says, "What about the people in the tents?" And another one says, "Just shut up. We're getting out of here." No, what about them?
No, you're right. If you can figure this out, we can save them. But we need somebody here who can fly this.
No, I've got it. The Deveronian kid says, and he's flipping a bunch of toggle switches and oh no, he puts one back and he's okay. I need someone over here, and you can see the ship is starting to, like, the engines are starting on the. I'm gonna have to, man, flying these things cold. My dad, my mom said that's a terrible idea, and it just starts babbling. But you can hear enough that makes you feel like, okay, they're spinning up into what's going on. Let's cut to Crix and Yuka. As you come up to a very, very bad way, Crix.
Can Crix act first?
Yes,
because I have a move.
Ooh,
against the odds when you're backed into a corner. Roll plus aggro.
I love this move.
2d6.
It's so weird.
Oh, hang on. That's a funny thing. Oh, it looks like, oh, I have entirely frozen.
Oh no. I can hear you.
Yeah. No, everybody froze and the 2d6 didn't roll. Let me try again.
Okay.
There we go. That is a 9 plus 2 is an 11.
Okay. On an 11 with that one, I think you get some choices, right?
Yeah. Choose one. Amazing piece of luck. As I am blown out into the corridor, in a heap. I hit the wall-mounted medical cabinet.
That's great. Get slammed into the medical cabinet. That's amazing. So if you'll use up all the supplies, you can heal yourself 2 ticks. It's basically got 2 ticks worth of healing in it.
I will take that with both hands. I will need help to heal, but I am at least not dying anymore.
And you are stable,
and I'm stable. So I think that's the point when Yuka comes to me. I'm kind of leaning on there with an empty stim spray in my.
I like that. That sounds great. So Yuka, when you come upon Crix, who's tried to bandage himself up and done a passable job, what do? You feel the ship's engines starting to come online. What are you doing, Yuka?
Oh, you're still mobile. Good. Command the gang to get the others out of the tents. We still have work to do.
Yeah, we can't take off without those other slaves. Yuka, get to the bridge and stop them escaping.
Of course. Glad to see you're okay, Crix. She will storm off.
Nice.
Leaning on my hard-won shovel.
Nice. All right.
And I will pull out that little thing that says to the gang, round up the slaves, get them to the ship.
Okay, cool. Then I'd like to see a leadership move here. You have to order your gang to advance, regroup, hold position, or put their backs into it. Roll plus hard.
Yeah, no, it's so when using your gang as a tool or weapon.
Oh yeah, that's true. There is the other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is this try something challenging?
Or another
Acting under pressure?
Confront, attack, do battle. I mean, they're doing battle, right? I mean, I think they're just straight up doing battle, but there are some options within the attack someone half of doing battle that can fulfill what you want.
Exactly.
So let's have you do that.
And what do I do?
You're gonna roll 2d6 flat. Then
it's your gang's capabilities that determine how much. So I'm gonna roll plus hard.
Yes.
For their, yeah, okay, 2d6 minus 1 is 2.
Okay.
They are getting pasted out there.
Among the gang, I imagine is Grim, Grabbleva, and Ravita. Fixes stayed back with the kids. Who among them is no longer up and fighting?
Ravita. Over the comms to all 4 of us comes Ravita saying, "Oh, Bill, are you there? Sorry, I just emceed. I'm sorry."
I'm good. These are your people. We share them, Alan. Through the last 3 sessions, we have shared these NPCs, and it is delightful. So yeah, Bayo, you hear that over the comms as our Deveronian, who definitely needs a name, is babbling about things that they need and has actually asked you, can you check this? Ooh. Yeah, that sounds fun. All right, so Farron is going to step in and be Ravita for this conversation.
Oh, that was a joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is? Oh. All right, then we'll keep it under Alan's control because it is Crix's person. So Bayo, yeah, you hear that over the comms.
Yeah, Bayo grabs his energy bow from his back, has it in one hand, has the comm link in the other, and he yells, he says, open the ramp, and then he gets on the comm. He says, I'm coming, Ravita. I'll be right there. And he doesn't know where she is, but he's gonna run out the ramp and try and look for her.
Oh, nice.
And while that's going on, I think Sin will try to get the rest of the slaves into the ship. So she'll stand at the ramp as Bayo runs out, trying to, follows him, lowers the ramp, expecting we're going to get people onto the ship, maybe even our crew, but Bayo runs out into the mess of it.
That's amazing. All right, Bale, I want you to try something challenging. Sin, you're acting under fire. So Bale, let's see you try something challenging. You are rolling plus aggro.
Okay. Quick question: is the thing that's challenging that I'm doing is running out of the ramp into the mess?
Yeah.
Since Bayo doesn't know where Ravita is yet, should he roll to find her first before he runs out, or should he run out and then roll to find her? I'm okay with either.
I think let's have you try something challenging. That something challenging is running into a pitched battle, finding a person, and returning.
Okay. 2d6 plus 0. Yeah, baby. Boxcars. Can't be stopped.
Oh, that's can't stop, won't stop. Bale, your tattoos glow and they start to fill in even more as a few shots glance off of you, like one blaster bolt. I don't know if you see it or if you're just vaguely aware of it, but you just move just a moment, a little matrix time, and it zips past you. You run roughshod over a Zygarian that was menacing Ravita. She's in a bad way, but you pick her up. No time to ask questions or anything, and just carry her towards Sin. Sin, let's have you act under fires. You're trying to direct traffic here and making yourself a very obvious target in the doing.
Okay. Act under fire is with cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 9. Let me look at the results.
Could I aid by showing up and offering cover fire?
Maybe. Let me look at the results. Act under fire.
You flinch, hesitate, or stall. You might suffer full harm, or I can offer you a hard bargain, unfortunate choice, or a different outcome instead.
Yeah, so I think that I definitely need help with this. I think I have it on my own, but I definitely need help. Is this a situation where I tell you how to help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you tell them how they can help, and then if they do it, they roll plus HX to help you.
I think it's the other way around, isn't it?
To help
Ask
someone,
their-
ask their player what you can do to help.
So it's on
ultimately the player
helpers.
getting helped says, here's how you can help me.
Okay, right.
Right. Yeah. Alan, upon reading it, do you agree or do you think I'm misinterpreting?
To help someone, i.e. to help Sin, ask Sin's player what you can do to help. Yes. Sorry.
Pronouns. No, it's good. Let's work through it. I like it.
Yeah. So I think in this case, I think I'm focused on getting the people onto the ship and don't notice the Zygarians that are trying to shoot at me. And I think you would help by taking them out before they can get to me.
Okay. Let's see if I can do. That is an 11. Not only do I do that, but I get plus 1 HX with you.
Nice.
Or do you get plus 1 HX with me? Either one of those two. I think I get one of you.
Let's see. Yeah, I think you get plus 1 HX with them on your sheet. You are the helper, so you could get plus 1 HX with Sin on Yuka's sheet. Sweet. You
Does
guys
it work both ways? Sorry, I'm just obsessed with, and they get plus 1 HX with you on their sheet.
Yeah.
That is correct. It works both ways. Thank you for catching that last half of the sentence. This is good. We're learning the game. Good. So you guys each swap a plus 1 HX. The rest of the slaves, along with the few Clatuidians who are sent along, and the remnants of they didn't do as well as the Clatuidians, but there are a good fair number of the Chiaroscuro band all board this ship, and it's, they're crowded in. As the ramp comes up, the Zygarians are pretty unhappy. Yes.
I want to maybe do an action as the ship is taking off and the ramp is coming up, but I will have to. This is going to be definitely a highly interruptible action, and I want to ask before I do it.
Okay.
Since Yuka had a vision last time where Sin escaped her rightful fate from the Night Sisters massacre. The Night Sisters were not supposed to survive. Stephen, would you be okay at this point of Yuka pushing Sin out of the rising ship and leaving you behind? If
I
I
not,
would like to interrupt.
oh yeah, I'm fine with
But
anyone interrupting this.
Not necessarily in the way you think.
think I'm fine with that. I think Sin is going to be focused. I think she wants to, take out this place, basically destroy it as much as possible. So I think Sin, as the ramp is coming up, would be focused on Maelstrom Manifest.
Yeah.
So if you
So-
want to push me out as I'm doing that, I'm fine.
Yeah, so I'll let Crix interrupt me first because they may be there before I can act.
Yeah, I am keen to get off the ship before Yuka does that. So I want to be on the ground with Sin.
Oh shit! How dare you?
So I will roll +2, which is my HX with Yuka.
Okay.
That is a 13.
That
Oh,
okay. On interrupt someone. To interrupt someone, roll +HX. On any hit, the MC chooses the most suitable. You're there first, you're in their way, you're ready for it. And they have to deal with you instead of doing what they intended. On a 10+, you also take +1 forward against them. So yeah, we don't have to worry about the misconditions. So let's talk this through.
My
Sin was going
objective-
to Maelstrom manifest. Crix's objective was to be with Sin when she does that, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't seem like anyone's objecting to Sin being left behind, meaning Crix is also left behind.
That's my objective.
yeah. I think the thing if I'm going to leave Sin behind, I'd have to leave Crix behind. To set
Yeah,
her up.
that's
Yep.
what I'm aiming for.
Yes.
I almost want Yuka, as Yuka pushes Sin off the ramp, to look down and see Crix leaning on his shovel looking up.
Yeah, so I think she will like be bringing up her arms, but instead of pushing Sin, she'll be bringing out that rocket launcher and aiming it at where Sin's force powers are going instead. So
You
we're
help?
going to be
Like
we'll be
Environ
helping
and Rocket. Oh God.
So we'll be dealing 4 Environ total.
Wow. Yeah, you just lay waste to the inroad as with the ramp partially down, the ship taking off, BO up there up front with this Deveronian who I saw a suggestion that the Deveronian is an ex-player character. I am into that, so we'll just say that Sox is the one who is piloting this thing away. And I think BO, the last thing you see is Sin and Crix as the Maelstrom manifests this whirlwind of chaos.
I want to stop Sin doing this. I want to sway Sin. You cannot keep doing this. You cannot keep on laying waste to the world that you want to save.
I'm using the world to destroy the off-worlders who are enslaving my people.
You don't know who's in the burrows underneath this where we took shelter. You don't know who's down there when you bring this down. You don't know that space gopher and her family are down there.
Why don't you roll your sway? Let's see how that looks.
Yeah.
2d6 plus cool.
Cool.
That is 5, 6, 7.
On a 7 to 9. If they don't want to go along with you or refuse, they can choose to ask you for evidence, time, a compromise, or some concrete assurance.
Okay, so I think the two of us are down there. We've landed, and the Zygonians are not happy, right? And there is a bunch of them. But I think whenever you mentioned people underneath in the burrows, maybe escapees, and the other creatures, I think that gets to me, and I will go along with that. That makes sense. I think the concrete assurance you gave me was the people underneath. Yeah.
And I would like to say, and me. There has to be another way, Sin.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have an idea. We're
Okay.
way off the rails here. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
gonna,
little crazy.
I'm gonna do augury instead then, and I'm gonna reach into the maelstrom.
Awesome. I think looking at time, I feel like that's the thing we should save till next session. We cliffhanger it like right on the precipice of that.
Perfect.
I kept pushing
with Yuka hanging on a strut with the rocket launcher on her shoulder.
ready to fire. Yes, we definitely got to keep that trip hammer ready to go. Cool. Let's quickly do our end of session. We'll probably need to do stars and wishes post time, and if anyone needs to go. But let's quickly do our end of session stuff. Who knows you better, Yuka?
Oh, I think Sin knows me better. She saw me choose Crix over her and almost got pushed out of a stinger by me.
Awesome. Then Sin, you add +1 HX with Yuka on your sheet. Bayo, who knows you better?
I think Sin knows me better with the little ceremony we did. I think that's, yeah.
Nice. All right. Go ahead and add +1 HX with Bayo onto your sheet. Crix, who knows you better?
Sin knows me better.
Aw,
Self-sacrifice is my middle name.
it certainly is. Then Sin, you get +1 HX with Crix, and then Sin, who knows you better? Oh, you're talking on mute. I can't hear you, Steven.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think Crix knows me better because he knew exactly where to poke, in order to get me to stop.
Nice.
Definitely learned that way. Yeah.
Awesome. Then Sin, are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
No.
Mark an XP. Does your scavenge choice still hold true?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Mark another XP. Crix, are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
Hell no.
And then does your scavenge choice still hold true?
I think it does, because I knocked it down from 2 to 1 last time, and things have not got better.
Yeah. Then you get an XP. And then Bayo, are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
No.
And does your scavenge choice still hold true?
Yes.
Yuka, are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
No, and then yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so 2 XP around. That brings all the end of session stuff. That's the fastest I've ever pulled that off. Good work, team. We did great. So let's do stars and wishes for anyone who wants to stick around, because, well, not stick around. I got 2 minutes, but you mark XP if your scavenge stays the same. If you aren't happy with your scavenge, then we change it. You go to the other choice, or you and I will work it out.
I don't think I need that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But let's do wishes. And if anyone needs to go, please jump in and do wishes and stars both.
I do need to get going a bit early today. So wishes, I would like to use my rocket launcher in
I know.
game just once.
You just want to do Environ. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And the stars, Sin, that was beautiful with the raccoon, gopher, space rodents. That was lovely. Crix, stop trying to change me. I'm trying to change you. This can't work this way. We are oil and water, yet we go together so well. And Bayo, I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad to meet the new you. And I hope everything's fine with Revita. We all deserve love, even if we're not worthy of it. And Rich, thanks for running. It's still so fun. And we got to beat up slavers. I mean, any game where you get to destroy slavers is a good game. But yeah,
I do think so.
Be off right now. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Ferret. See you later. Who'd like to go next for wishes?
I would like, because we still have some loose ends. We've tied up the loose ends with the Clatuinians. We've kind of solved the slaver problem ish, though there's a hat in play somewhere. But the thing we have not yet tied up is the Imperials are still looking for Sin and BO. So somehow we need to kind of get Staff Sergeant Thurinos to kind of go back to status quo ante.
I was very excited with what you guys were doing on the ground, so I didn't tell you that there were TIE fighters on the way, but they are.
As soon as I suggested we take off, I was like, and then in come the TIE fighters. It's gonna happen. Yeah, good.
Oh,
After we destroyed the turrets. Great, perfect. Yep. Nailed it.
Yep. I had that queued up, ready to go. So, that's a thing. Cool. Thank you very much, Alan, for those. Cody, do you have any wishes?
Yeah, I think same as Alan there. I think leading into this Imperial entanglement is crucial. This wish is, I think, more just for the game. I think there's so many different XPs, mark improvement, mark checkboxes. Sometimes it's just a little bit much to keep track of. Like,
I agree.
For instance, the scavenging thing. I didn't realize that if you didn't change scavenge, you mark the thing, which is fine. But so that's not.
It's basically 2 more XP for you. So you should take an advance.
Okay, I'll do that. But so yeah, it's just like, man, there is just a lot of stuff. And we were talking about during the game the XP on a miss or XP on a skill, and like when does it work best? And it's just there's something. There's a choice. I'm not sure which one it is. So that my wish in general is yes for the next thing, for the Imperial entanglements, and then just generally for this type of game to kind of either for myself to grok the rules a little bit better, or maybe there's maybe I don't know. There's something itching at my craw.
I think for improvement in this game, it's better than it was, but it's still a few too many bibs and bobs and bits for me. I mean, I think it's a cool goal to try to have like all these things that you do, they all contribute towards you getting better. I get that from a simulation standpoint, but I find that just it becomes, it's not as bad as the last iteration, it's nowhere near as bad as Burning Wheel, but it's fucking bookkeeping. And I don't get paid to do this, and I feel like that's work, so it's too much. Even though it's simpler than it used to be, it's still too fiddly from my tastes. So I'm with you on that wish. Steven, did you have any wishes?
So I'm interested in how we're going to get out of this this mess, and I'm thinking about wishes a little bit. I want to put everything on the table just to make sure maybe I remember this next week. My intention with reaching into the maelstrom is to see if I can't pull out something dangerous and really messy that might help us, like maybe a native of Dathomir, like maybe a Rancor or something like that, and let it go havoc here, and then maybe Crix and I can get away.
God, that's so good.
Another idea that I had, I got an advance, and
I'm just giggling over Rancor. Sorry.
I know, and I think I'm going to take the medic advance. If I can figure out how to get that in there. So because we need some healing, right? And because I think that the way I'm going to do that is I can heal those that are mine, right? So I can probably heal BO and Crix. So that's just a thought I have in mind. So I think those are the wishes.
Nice. Those are cool wishes. You went last with wishes. You could go first with stars. Did you have any stars you'd like to hand out?
I was surprised constantly throughout this game, like even with what happened in the last session, and then how the your life becomes untenable worked, and then I was surprised with the at the end I'm gonna push Sin out, and surprised about just everything. It was everybody played their characters so well. Surprised that Crix would rather give up his own life than his shovel, right? So it was great. It was very, very good. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Steven. Cody, any stars?
Yeah, same, big same. That climax moment where all these things just started popping off. I was getting so jacked. Alan bringing in Ravita, having problems outside, realizing we need to free the slaves that are intense as well. Not realizing, remembering. Ferret, I wish they were still here because going to push Sin out of the thing was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And Steven for being ready and willing to be like, yes, I'm gonna do this and I'm okay with that happening. But then Alan coming back in and saying, actually, it was just so many layers of these ties that bind all of us together, and where people are trying to sever them. For instance, BO trying to, not be into that Night Sister stuff, perhaps, and then experiencing that vision. Rich, using you monster, using these Night Sister, Night Brother Force visions for myself, for Ferret, and setting us up to have these these other forces at work on us is really great. So yeah, it's been very exciting. I've loved the game.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very happy. Alan, did you have any stars that are left?
Yeah, several to you, Rich, for kind of rolling with the surprises, because this game was full of them.
Indeed.
And that is also always so hard to do. I was thinking you do it so well.
Thank you.
I think to Stephen, we are beginning to see Sin has 3 dimensions, and maybe she was always thinking it through, but now she seems more prepared to display the thinking through alternatives. So I think there's some growth. I'm enjoying playing, Obi-Wan to her Padawan. And Cody, I thank you for leaning into Ravita, because I want Ravita to be happy. And again, I think that BO is growing across the story arc, isn't he? He's becoming his own man, not someone that he thought a Night Sister ought to be man. You know what I mean? So yeah, and Ferret for remembering that vision from last time, because I'd forgotten all about that. And making that reality by nudging Sin off the ship as it takes off.
It was so good.
Brilliant.
I appreciate the check-in. Since we're talking to Ferret, I'll say I appreciate the check-in, because that's a serious betrayal. And just talking player to player, that's a good conversation to have. And it gives a player a moment to get over the sticker shock of you just screwed my character over, to, okay, how do I, the player, feel about this? And I trust Steven would be cool either way, but I do think it's a really wise choice that Ferret made there. Good play, gauntlet level play that I really adore. Oh, I really enjoyed this session. I'm sad that there's only one session left, but you guys freed a bunch of slaves. That feels very Star Warsy to me. And I appreciate how hard you guys went at it. You guys just went hard the whole time. It was costly and
messy. Yeah,
that was messy. Yeah, I think we in Star Wars fashion, there were people within the band and the Klatooinians who aren't aboard the ship that we probably see didn't survive, but yeah, you guys were victorious. The war was won, this battle at least. Cool. Well, we will bring this recording to a close and bring the game session to a close. Thank you all so much for playing.